The destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, horror fans! Woo!
That sounds familiar.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
dance party,
yes.
kicking it off. And it is a party because we are so excited. We are bringing the very first episode of Horror TV Weekly to you guys. We're going to be talking all things horror on your screen, bringing it to your ears. And let's get started.
Yes.
I'm your host, Elena Jordan. You can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan and on Instagram at That Elena Jordan Girl. And I have an amazing panel today.
Hi guys, I'm Oliver Jen. Follow me on all social media platforms at AllADreamer.
And I'm Lucretia Lyon, guys. You can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one.
There can be only one.
Thank you for getting my Highlander reference.
So there is so much to talk about because it's the first week of Halloween. I don't even say October, I say Halloween.
Halloween.
Yes.
It's the first week of Halloween.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It
I love
is.
that.
It's an entire month. All of
And
October.
I love your dress. I love
Thank
your dress.
you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'm celebrating the first day of Halloween. Really, the third. No.
On the first day of Halloween, Satan
It's the
brought to
most
me.
wonderful time of the year, honestly.
Some pumpkins to carve. Okay. Anyway. So diving right in, Netflix is blowing up with some amazing TV shows. They just released their poster for their upcoming season of The Punisher
Yes.
with John Bernthal.
Looks so good.
Still no release date in sight.
Exactly.
Still no
Yes.
release date. We don't know the release date, but we do know that the truth must be taken.
Yeah.
The Punisher is one of my all-time favorite superheroes because he has no superpowers. He's just super pissed off. And, like, I love, actually, the Tom Jane movie because it's so goofy. But this is, like, a real good Punisher that I'm just so excited for because the little bit we got in Daredevil season 2 made me just so hungry for more.
I'm so excited about
Yeah.
this. I also am. I have a little allegiance to the Punisher for an odd reason. Is that that's my nickname at AfterBuzz because of all of my horrible puns.
Oh,
So a little different, but
that's awesome.
but I will say I love this poster because of how badass he looks.
He was
like-
definitely the standout in Daredevil season 2, and no release date, like we said. But I remember we're talking in Marvel Movie News that it might come out possibly in Veterans Day, and that makes sense for his origin because we're gonna go into his origin story for the first season. So
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope they do that.
November's just gonna be a good month for Marvel. With
Yeah.
Thor and the Runaways, so I'm excited.
Oh, I hope that that's the case. Now, I was really excited to hear, too, Robert Englund was talking a little bit about the new Jason and talking about some gossip that he's heard and said that he thinks Kevin Bacon would be an amazing Jason. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he actually wants Jason to play his character, Freddy Krueger, in the new Nightmare on Elm Street, which is what I am like, oh my God, because Kevin Bacon is my dream Carnage. And this to me is just like, this is just opening the door for him to be Carnage. And if anybody could take up the mantle from Robert Englund, it would be Kevin Bacon because he's got that great evil look to him. Oh man.
So wait, Kevin Bacon's gonna play Freddy possibly?
Yeah,
He's
that's
in
who they're
talks?
looking for, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which-
Interesting.
It's funny because the only thing is he was approached and it wasn't that he said the name Kevin Bacon, was the interviewer asked, what do you think about Kevin Bacon?
yeah.
And the quote that he said was, yeah, I think that would be great. He's one of my favorite little horror, he's in one of my favorite horror movies, Stir of Echoes, and you should check it
Yes.
out if you haven't seen it. And I just think Kevin's the right size. I think he respects horror movies. He doesn't make fun of them. I think it would be really interesting. So
That would be really cool.
I think that would be interesting. And
You know who I would think might do a good Freddy?
who?
Dennis O'Hare. Do you know Dennis? American Horror
yes,
Story.
yeah, I love
Don't you-
Dennis
I mean,
O'Hare, yeah.
I say that because season 1 he played, the burn victim. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
but
he could do a
he's
really
just
good
He
Freddy.
has that face, and he's such a good, talented actor. So, but I'm not against Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, and I love that Robert Englund loves Stir of Echoes because that to me is such an underrated film. That's actually one of my favorite Kevin Bacon performances. It's so creepy, and there's like so many sequences with the Rolling Stones song "Paint It Black," which is one of my favorite songs. And every time I hear that song, I think of that movie. Yeah.
That movie is really, really good because it's so psychological.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of really great acting that's nonverbal, which is, I think he would be a really good Freddy for that reason, too.
Oh, yeah.
I kept saying Jason, sorry.
Yeah.
Freddy.
Well, they're so closely aligned. We have that Freudian slip going on.
Freddy versus
Yeah,
Jason.
exactly.
Kevin Bacon plays both, and it's like, how many degrees to each? And he's like, haha, 0 degrees. I'm Kevin Bacon.
That could be the one where Ash shows up, like they were
I do
supposed
it.
to have.
Oh my gosh.
Now, in some related Kevin Bacon news, so we've got some new cast members for Tremors.
Yes, a friend of mine, Tokes Olagundaye, is going to be in the Tremors movie, which is awesome. You guys probably know her from The Neighbors, Castle, and she actually was in the Gifted pilot.
Oh.
So I'm so happy for her to be getting work, especially something that I love so much.
No, but this is going to be a series, right? That they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're going to do. Yeah. So not just it's not a movie. They're going to do a full series. So it's
Yeah.
going to be. She's going to play Jessica Florence, who is supposed to be a really, really big part too, playing opposite of Kevin Bacon. So that's
Yeah,
really
she's one
exciting.
of the leads, yeah.
Yeah.
Her. Really
I'm
good
excited
for
for
her.
it, and I'm excited too. It's going to be a follow-up, kind of a Tremors follow-up, and it's written by Andrew Miller, who, and to be directed by Cube and Splice's Vincent. I can't pronounce his name. Vincenzo Natali.
Yeah, it's Italian.
I'm gonna
right?
say Vince Natali.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it
that
short
sounds good.
because why not? Why not?
You're bros. It's like Sly.
We're bros. Me and Vince, we're tight.
Yeah.
But I am really excited about this one. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be really cool.
I
So.
love the original Tremors movie. It's like, oh.
And I love
Yeah.
that you guys are tight too.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see if
Cool.
maybe we can do like little
Yeah.
shout outs. See if we can.
Bring her in.
Yeah,
Bring her in studio.
Tokes has been into AfterBuzz a few times. She'd love to come back.
Oh
I'm
my
sure.
gosh,
I'll
that'd be
talk to her.
awesome.
Yeah,
That'd be
Super
yeah.
cool. Now, we've got some big news too. Hocus-Pocus, for years, they've been talking about potentially doing a sequel. And it looks like Disney has scrapped the idea of a sequel and instead is doing a full remake. I don't think I like this.
I don't.
I don't either.
No.
I think this is a bad call, especially because the original cast apparently all expressed interest in doing a sequel.
Yeah.
And they decided to go with a whole brand new cast, which I think is a mistake.
Yeah, it's a reimagining. I don't want to see a bunch of young Disney stars attempt to play such iconic. The Sanderson sisters, like, no, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker,
Yeah.
come on.
And I'm like, they look exactly the same that they did in 1994. So it's like, come on, it's not a problem.
Well, and two, those characters, I mean, this is something that is not a young person's game.
No.
These are witches. You want to see women of a certain age playing these iconic characters. And I'm afraid if they're doing this full reimagining, it's going to be like 20-somethings.
I don't want it to be like Wizards of Waverly Place Hocus
yeah.
Pocus. I want it
Yeah.
to be like legit.
Just-
Which also, do you guys remember back in the day they had that Disney Channel did like a making of Hocus Pocus? It was a tiny little video that I remember. There was a scene that they were in a grocery store and they ended up cutting all these scenes because they wanted to focus more on the kids. So I'm like, just do a re-release of Hocus Pocus and give us
exactly.
all the never before seen footage.
HD remastered.
Yeah.
We will
something.
eat that up. We want nostalgia.
Gosh, I'm really disappointed by that news we just talked about.
I am. I'm a little bummed out, but they
Yeah.
did say that it's Ortega who has worked on the previous one. Kenny Ortega said that even though he had kind of hinted that there may be a reboot, he says that he's going to see what happens with this one. So this is going to have a new cast and new director. He did High School Musical and Descendants. Yeah.
Oh, so it's just Disney to the max.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to, fingers crossed, but
I'll watch it, but I'm not gonna like it.
I'll probably want to immediately watch the original Hocus Pocus again. Which anything that makes me watch that movie, I'm not upset with.
Yeah, I don't even want the original Sanderson sisters to do cameos because I'm just gonna be too angry at the television screen.
Yeah,
But
a
that's just
cameo.
me. Cameo, I love it. Was that a pun? Or that was
Yeah, well, kind of a pun. Punished. So one thing that I look forward to every year that I'm sure you guys too, Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
Yes.
And we got a little bit of some insider info to this year's Treehouse of Horror. It's going to have guest appearances from Ben Daniels, who was a star of Fox's The Exorcist, which is why
Perfect.
we see Maggie all
Yeah.
possessed. I imagine he's going to come in. William Friedkin, who was the director of the 1973 The Exorcist, is going to be in it too. And Daniels is going to be playing this Irish priest. And Dr. Kenneth Humphreys is going to be played by Mr. Friedkin, the iconic filmmaker. So, also Chef Mario Batali is going to be in it, playing himself, apparently cooking up some Homer.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I'm really excited about this one. The way that Fox has officially described this one is that Maggie becomes possessed by an ancient demon. Lisa discovers a creepy/perfect version of her family in an alternate universe, and Homer cannibalizes himself.
Wait, so that middle one's Coraline, right?
Yes, it's Coraline.
Okay.
Which I really wish. You know what I wish? I wish they would have done like the claymation or the
This?
stop motion. Yeah, because it's
This
Coraline.
it's very
I mean,
Coraline, but they're bugs. It's not, the eyes aren't buttons.
they
They're
aren't?
they're insects.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's what it is that it's like a bug version of them that has multiple arms. But it does look very Coraline. It looks very bug-eyed. So I'm interested to see
too.
this one.
I love that. I used to have a DVD that was just like Treehouse of Horror episodes. Like they would sell those.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love old Simpsons. New Simpsons, I can kind of get with, but I'll always be around to watch the
Treehouse of Horror is always my favorite. And you guys can check that out Sunday, October 22nd. They'll be airing Treehouse of Horror. And we'll be talking about that one, reminding you guys too every week as we lead into it. Also, speaking in some similar animated news, SpongeBob is going to have his own Halloween special, which looks like it's going to be interesting because it's not our typical SpongeBob that we've seen in the past. I think we have a little trailer of that too for you guys. This yeah, let's check it out. Let's check out this SpongeBob trailer and see his new Halloween special. Chilling out in Bikini Bottom. Everything's haunted.
It's
The stop
Bikini
motion.
Bottom.
The spooky. Yeah, so it's so cool that they're doing this stop motion animation.
Yeah.
Yourself. This Friday the 13th.
Patrick's my favorite.
So
I know. I love
Friday the 13th.
yeah, they're doing their own Friday the 13th release.
That's the scariest thing I ever saw. Show a little backbone.
Take the
I'm losing it. I love this.
This one looks
I love this
adorable.
so
I'm
much.
so excited
Oh
about it.
my
I
God.
cannot wait. I think it looks like it's going to be amazing.
This and the Scooby-Doo episode of Supernatural is going to be some of my
Yes!
favorite things this year. Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Don't stop, SpongeBob.
I think it's such a good idea too of them doing it as this stop motion animation instead of the typical,
Yeah.
because it just makes it look like it really is its own special.
Yeah, and it makes it look different and scary, and it's something fun they hadn't done in a while.
It's so scary.
Yeah, and it's not bright. It's like dark and it's like glowy. It's a different
It
look.
makes me want to be SpongeBob as a spooky flower for Halloween.
Gary.
Oh my gosh.
I can do a little bit of a SpongeBob voice.
I want to hear it.
Gary.
Oh my gosh.
Now, in further animated news, this one I think, Lucretia, I think this is the one you're most excited about.
Yeah, like this is such a goofy little SNL character from Tom Hanks of all people, David S. Pumpkins.
Any questions?
And it's like the dance. And I don't know why this needed to be a cartoon, but I'm happy that it is.
I'm so glad that this is
Yeah.
going to be a cartoon, and that they're bringing in Peter Dinklage is going to be in it.
Yes.
Mikey Day, Bobby Moynihan, they're all going to be back for it. So I'm so excited. I think this is going to be absolutely hilarious. Saturday, October 28th at 11:30 NBC is going to air the David S. Pumpkins Halloween special.
I still want my Mary Catherine Gallagher Halloween
Yeah.
special, personally, with Molly Shannon. That would be iconic, but, I'll settle for this.
If they had they go up the elevator and Mary Catherine Gallagher has her own floor and she's like, spin off, boom. Separate Halloween special.
I would love that.
Yeah,
I think, that would be the ultimate trick or treat. I'm into it. I think SNL should do that. You have so many opportunities with this elevator.
Come on.
Do it to it. Now, Sci-Fi Z Nation just released their first episode, and they had their trailer for all of season 4. Basically, they are just going full. We're seeing full zombie world in this one. We've gone. Do you guys watch this show, Z Nation?
I don't watch
I
the
don't,
show.
but I know a lot of people who do and really love it. I'm thinking about catching up.
Yeah, they the series premiere was just on September 29th. This is season 4, and so the whole premise is that it follows like these everyday heroes, but it looks like it's going to be really, really good. It looks like it's going to be a really great season.
Yeah.
So I think we even have a little bit of the trailer for that one as well.
New do.
Yeah, new life. New
Bigger balls.
undead life.
It looks like a lot of fun, I would say.
The production design for it is just really fun. It is a very sci-fi show.
And don't they shoot in like Seattle? Is that why it's so pretty?
Oh, I didn't know that.
think
That makes
so.
sense.
Yeah.
From what I gather, like, it's definitely a fast-paced show, whereas like something like Walking Dead, which I'm more familiar with, maybe that's why people like, because Walking Dead's getting a lot slower.
Yeah, Walking
So,
Dead is kind of slower paced,
people-
whereas this one,
Yeah, people seem to be shifting towards Z Nation because it seems to be getting big.
Z Nation almost feels a little bit more kind
Henry
of comic
Rollins?
Yeah.
influence. Yeah,
I'm
Henry
watching
Rollins is
that
in
now.
it. Yeah, Henry Rollins is in it.
I love him.
But even just the visuals of it, like it feels like
Yeah.
it could be a Marvel or a DC show
Yeah,
almost.
it's
You know,
very-
it feels.
Over the top.
Yeah, I really dig it. So I'm excited about that one. It just kicked off this season. So another show that I cannot wait for. X-Files. And
We were kind of in sync.
Yeah.
Not
I
really.
thought that was amazing. The truth is out there.
X-Files is literally one of my favorite shows of all time. I got to do a panel here at AfterBuzz for the 6 episodes last year.
Aw.
And so hopefully we'll be able to do that again for this show.
Yay.
Because Glenn Morgan came in, and he will be back to write, as well as his brother Darren. And I can just shut up right now because, I will talk for the rest of the
I
show.
cannot wait. I'm so excited. They just released, Entertainment Weekly has been just killing it on these preview photos. So this looks not too good. I'm getting a little worried about Mulder and Scully every time you see the preview of somebody in the hospital. Now, one thing that I do really like that they announced too in Entertainment Weekly, there's going to be a 10-episode run this season. 8 out of the 10 of them are going to be a Monster of the Week episode.
Which I'm so happy about. They probably watched the last episode of our after show where I had made some comments about that. The Monster of the Week ones were a little bit better than the Chris Carter, mythology episodes, and especially when they didn't wrap up some stuff. And maybe because they have said for sure that William will be in it, probably again,
Yeah.
because Chris Carter got those angry letters.
I love the Monster of the Week
Yeah.
episodes. I think that this is the way to go, and I think that it's a very smart idea giving a full 10 episodes.
And we need Kumail Nanjiani back, definitely.
Yeah. So cannot wait for that one. Another show that I'm pretty excited about, Exorcist, is back. Now, this is back for season 2. Season 2 looks like it's going to be really cool. If you guys want to catch up too, if you didn't get the chance to see the preview for The Exorcist, the next chapter, and get to see the premiere episode, you can actually now watch it on Fox.com. So they're streaming the episodes. And a little, if you don't want spoilers for the first season, then don't listen now. But if you just want kind of a quick overview, the second season isn't directly tied to the first season. So if you don't want to watch all of the first season, if you're like, I don't have time for all that, but you still want to jump into season 2, you can. Season 1, quick little spoiler alert. followed around the same two priests that are going to be in season 2 as they helped this young girl who was possessed. Come to find out, her mother was actually the original exorcist. That's how they tied it in.
Oh, wow.
She was the little girl from the original movie. Is how Gina Davis, who played the mother, her character, she was supposed to be Reagan. So.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that was their twist. And so that lets you know a little bit about how good this show is and how they were able to tie it in. But also, after season 1 having that wrap up, kind of releases them from the shackles of having to be too tightly connected. So from now on, I think it's going to be kind of more a separate show that they go off, because they're adding in, like John Cho and adding in new cast members. So I'm excited about it. Also talking about Exorcist, Ty West, best known for horror gems, the House of the Devil VHS.
Oh my gosh, House of the Devil.
Yes.
You've seen it? Total 80s throwback horror film. Oh,
I love it. It's so good. He did the Sacrament Innkeepers.
VHS. You got me at VHS. So.
I love Adam Wingard. I actually went to college with, and he's a friend of mine. He's amazing. So VHS is incredible. But he's going to be Ty West is going to be directing an episode of Exorcist.
That's awesome.
Really excited about that. He also previously directed episodes of Scream and Wayward Pine. So this won't be his first horror TV.
So he's experienced.
Yeah, which I'm glad
what
that
he's
they're.
doing.
Yeah, he knows. It definitely does, and they keep bringing in these really experienced people to make these TV shows, which is why I'm getting really excited. For instance, the Underworld series
Oh my gosh.
is officially kicking off, and Lynn Wiseman is attached. So we were kind of worried that Len Wiseman might not be attached. He directed the first Underworld series, the movie franchise. He's going to come back as an executive producer. People were kind of worried that he wasn't going to be around to work on this one because Die Hard. He's going to be directing Die Hard 6. And he also directed Live Free and Die Hard. So
I like that one, I will say. I have to admit it. I know.
I love Live Free and Die Hard.
Because Timothy Oliphant is the villain. How can you go wrong there? And then you have a random Kevin Smith cameo. It's a fun movie. There's a lot of people who give it.
That was the most recent one, right? With Mary
Yes.
Elizabeth Winstead. Okay. I haven't seen it in forever, so. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think that this is going to be a good series. I loved Underworld. Like, I even had the whole costume for Halloween and everything. Like, ordered the pendant and everything. Like, this was years ago, too, when the first one came out. Whew, a mess. Love it. So, very excited whenever they attach some of the original producers and directors. Walking Dead, one of the biggest, most highly anticipated returns. A couple things making us go, what the
Yeah.
Number one being the fact that they're going to be dropping some F-bombs.
Finally.
Season 8, they finally
the
get to curse. Which I'm like, I'm sorry, this is happening after Negan's speech?
Yeah, exactly.
Took a while.
Because when you read the graphic novels, his speech is just like riddled with F-bombs, and it's part of what makes it so powerful too.
Yeah.
I'm like, Negan doesn't get F-bombs till season 8.
They actually had to use other English like words to like cover up, the F-bombs, the S-bombs, whatever.
It was almost like watching Mallrats when it would be on cable when you were a kid, and they'd like cut out, and replace it with stupid crap, and you're like, we know what they're saying.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
They're allowed 2
it's
per
the
episode,
zombie
apparently.
Apocalypse.
It's the zombie effing apocalypse,
you need to
guys.
Curse, but you said they're allowed 2?
They're allowed 2.
That's not enough. That's not enough.
That's not enough F-bombs.
But I will take it, okay? I will take it.
I would love if there's a one episode, they only have one, and then they just get to the end and they're just like straight to camera. Just drop it. And it is interesting, too, that this one is going to be totally different from anything else that we've seen. They're describing it as being like a Schwarzenegger Stallone action movie.
Oh, and I love Sly. Like, I love Cobra and Rocky and
Running
my
Man.
God. Like, that makes me excited because, after last season, you're like, where do we go from here? When you're like, I think we're going to do Cobra. Okay, well, I'll watch that. Like,
Yeah.
It's Seth Gilliam, who plays Father Gabriel,
Yes.
had one of my favorite quotes where he said, "There's some serious action that I don't think we've seen on television since the A-Team went off the air." So this is making me very excited, especially their promo poster, this like all-out war.
I think it's time, especially with the Kingdom introduced in last season. And that because, like I was saying even earlier, that the show's going so slow. It's a very slow burn. And I think it's time to just let the action, let the stuff hit the fan.
Yeah,
you know?
tigers can only get you so far.
The tiger is off the chain, okay?
Yeah, boom. Brr, brr, brr.
Shiva. Name is Shiva.
I'm actually very curious about this. I really want to check it out. I think I'm gonna go back and pick up where I left off and catch up so I can watch this because that sounds amazing.
I think that this is a really good PR move that they're doing because I think a lot of people fell off because I know that I watched the first episode because I wanted to find out who Negan was gonna KO.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then once I found out, then I watched the second episode and I was like, this is a bit too much for me. And then I took a break until way later and then caught back up.
Yeah.
So I think them saying straight out the gate, this is going to be like Schwarzenegger. This is going to be like A-Team. This is going to be a Stallone thing. It's getting everybody all ramped up. We're all excited. So now people, I think, just like you said, Anthony, are going to go back and they're going to catch up and become kind of reignite that fire if that was a slow burn.
And I think a lot of it had to do with the success of Skybound's Shiva Force line of action figures that were like a G.I. Joe throwback. I actually got the Jesus one in there, Mega Box. If you guys watch Comic Book Exchange, you can watch us unbox that. That's on Book Circle Online. Shameless plug. But back to this. But yeah, they had a lot of G.I. Joe throwbacks. People really bought into that, and I think they're like, well, let's just do that on the show. It did so well.
Who doesn't like nostalgia?
I love it. And they've been doing a lot of really cool promo stuff. Like Greg Nicotero actually paired up with KNBFX to develop this whole new poster line that's a tribute to these classic movies. And so they're making all of these Walking Dead posters that this is just brilliant, I think, is that they're gonna I think we're gonna pull up these photos for you guys too. They released on their Instagram check these out.
Yeah.
Anthony likes that one because it's the thing.
Yeah.
The thing.
I do. I have to like it. I have to like it.
I love it. And then they also do a Back to the Future one as well underneath it that I just think is genius. So
Coral. So good.
And then the next one is Alien. This was my favorite. 'Cause I'm like, oh, so
Yeah,
cool.
this is pretty great. Aliens. I love Alien too.
They're so good.
And then there's the good, the bad, and the ugly too. Oh,
Genius.
yeah.
Omega Man. Oh, so
The dead, the dying, the undead.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are just absolutely brilliant. Their marketing campaign, they're getting it back. I think they're making everybody Daryl now.
Yes.
it's about time.
It is about time. Skybound, too, who produced Walking Dead and also Outcast and a bunch of our other favorite horror TV shows, they're actually going to do a Gateway series, too. So they're going to bring their sci-fi series to life on the small screen. So pretty excited about that. They're going to be teaming up with Blumhouse and Universal to make this. So this is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, Skybound is just dipping into everything now. So I'm really happy for them really coming up. Again, that's another good company that hopefully we'll share the love that they've done with Comic Book Exchange with Horror TV Weekly.
I'm not sure if this is Skybound, but I'm still waiting for Invincible.
Yeah, Invincible is
Invincible,
Skybound,
yeah.
and
Okay, yeah.
they are making a movie with Seth Rogen. He
Yes,
will
please.
be writing it with Evan Goldberg.
I'm so
I
excited.
actually
They're
knew
the
that
team
answer.
who also
Yeah.
brought us Preacher, too. So
Yeah, and
okay,
I'm loving that show.
yes, we'll talk about that too. We'll definitely get Lucretia's review. And Stranger Things.
Oh.
We cannot talk about
No.
all of the creepy things without talking about the Stranger Things. They have released their movie poster which is showing us now that it's going to be all Halloween season
love
themed.
it.
I'm so excited.
And they did another movie throwback poster series as well, which is interesting. Like The Walking Dead, they had 11 with Firestarter, kind of a nice little Drew Barrymore throwback, and there was an Evil Dead one. So I love that it feels like this is the year of let's just throw everything back to the 80s. And
I'm
you know
super
what?
into
That's
it.
fine. Yeah.
I'm totally cool with that. The 80s was the best time period, too. So
People love nostalgia. I mean, look
exactly.
at this.
Yeah.
It's so cool. They're
so
going to be
cute.
battling the Shadow Monster, which is the nickname given to the giant creature Will first meets in his PTSD like visions of the Upside Down. We also got our first kind of looks from Entertainment Weekly that are showing us these photos, some little sneak peek of season 2. So I'm really excited that this whole thing is going to be set in this Halloween time
Yeah.
thing. I just think it's a brilliant idea to have all of it be connected to Halloween
Yeah.
and have it come out on the 28th. We see 11 with either a full set of hair or a new wig. One of the two.
This reminds me of like I can't remember her name. Alien.
Sigourney Weaver?
Yes, she
Yeah.
looks very
does.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
You're right.
All those throwbacks. And it's also going to be cool to seeing like how there's just going to be so many different storylines going on. It's going to be
Yeah.
a much different season with the construction of how they've written it. So
It's funny, she kind of looks like Bev Marsh to me, too.
Oh my God.
Which is funny because the same actor was in It that was in Stranger Things.
Oh my gosh.
Which, speaking of It as well, Stephen King is just crushing it on
He
the
is.
series. And unfortunately, one series did get crushed.
Yes.
The Mist.
Yeah. Did you guys watch The Mist at all?
No,
I did not, and unfortunately, no one else did either. Apparently,
Yeah, I was actually kind of excited for it because The Mist is one of my more favorite. I would say it's my favorite Stephen King story. So I didn't watch it though. So I was like everyone else. But
well, I didn't like the movie that much, and I
No.
feel like that kind of put a bad taste in everybody's mouth for the
because of
series.
ending, right?
Yeah, and I think if it had been, you know, promoted a little differently,
Yeah.
Because I didn't
people
even,
would like it more. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people kind of forgot that it existed.
yeah.
I think.
it was on
Yeah.
Spike, I believe.
And I think that was the thing is most people are like, where is this? Because I remember seeing the trailer, but never thinking about flipping over to Spike.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they need a little bit more content to go
Yeah.
over to. Yeah.
Well, Netflix is going to be streaming. They switched their streaming release to October 24th, and they're going to be streaming all of the first season. So I'm interested to see how it does because
Yeah.
they may
Yeah.
potentially
Bring it
they
back.
could buy it from Spike. Even Netflix
Yeah.
could if it ends up doing so well on their network, which wouldn't surprise me because Netflix has been absolutely killing the game
Yeah.
when it comes to series, especially horror series like we see Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Um,
I might binge it. You know.
I think
Just
might as well
see-
check it out.
see
Why
what-
not?
I believe Francis Conroy's in it, so American Horror Story alum.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, and plus I just love the atmosphere. It's very Silent Hill, so that's another reason why I like the
I
story
love
so
Silent
much.
Hill.
But I need a Silent Hill series. Come on,
Silent Hill
Yeah,
series,
that'd
I'd be
be
Give me
all
that.
about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Give me that.
I would love that. But they are going to do an adaptation of Stephen King's The Dark Tower,
yes.
which is pretty cool. I'm excited about that because, they're saying the major change to the films weren't quite as successful as I think they were hoping. So they said this is basically going to be an entire reboot. It's not going to be anything like the films, is what Stephen King is saying. And he just said, the TV series they're developing now, we'll see what happens with that.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's such a good story, and I feel like there were a lot of good elements in the movie that just didn't hit certain points, that it didn't come all the way. So I feel like they know what the problem is, and they're going to try to fix it. Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that that's the case but the way that he's talking about it is making me nervous
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
are kind of, wishy-washy and not
Yeah.
fully
Yeah.
committing to one thing.
It kind of just reminds me of how, like you said, with The Mist, the
Yeah.
Dark Tower film might have left a bad taste
Bad
in our
taste in
mouths.
people's
So
mouths,
no one's
yeah.
gonna watch the series unless it's just mind-blowingly good. So
I'm hoping that they'll just make it mind-blowingly good and just give up on it.
I don't have high hopes for it, but we'll see. We'll see.
One thing we know is definitely happening, though, is that his adaptation of the 2008 novella In is going to be adapted, and it's going to be a new series called 8. So I'm kind of excited about that one. David F. Sandberg is going to direct the pilot. So who did Annabelle, Lights Out?
Yeah, and we'll be doing Shazam.
Yeah, and Shazam. So I'm excited about it. It sounds like it's going to be cool. The premise is that it takes place in Maine, where there's 8 different imposing stones that make people crazy. And then in the summer of 1992, this group of teenagers goes and they somehow escape the clutches of these 8 stones that make people mad, and they're able to escape madness. But now it's come back to confront them 25 years later.
Interesting.
So it seems very like sequel to It-esque.
Yeah.
But
Also very reminiscent of Infinity War with all the Infinity
Yeah,
Stones.
that's why I was
That
like,
just like,
yeah,
and
it's kind of like
yeah.
It mixed with Infinity
very
War.
interesting. And I was reading that the scripters are Andrew Boyer and Gabe Ferrari, who are also writing for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
So that'll be pretty cool.
Marvelous.
Hey, punished.
No shameless plug there yet? Yeah.
Oh, Marvel Movie News
Yeah,
every Tuesday at 2 on the Popcorn
DC
Podcast.
Movie News too on Thursdays. What's up? We can play this game.
Yeah, I said Shazam. You can go that way.
This panel has no shame.
No,
and I'm here for it.
So excited though,
Yeah.
because one of my all-time favorite shows. You know what time it is? It's Tool time. So they've just released on Hulu the original ABC Friday Night lineup, which means that all 7 Halloween episodes of Home Improvement are on Hulu.
I love Tim Allen, but as much as I love Home Improvement, I am more excited at the fact that Dinosaurs and Boy Meets World were
Boy
also
Meets
added.
World is the one that
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
most excited about, because to me, and you can fight me on this, season 5, episode 17, titled "And Then There Was Sean," aka the Boy Meets World Halloween episode, is the single greatest Halloween episode of all time.
And that's the one with Jennifer Love Hewitt, right?
It's amazing. It's
Yeah, I
so
love that
good.
one.
It's when Feeney gets
Yes.
stabbed in the back with scissors. Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
so good. It's so good.
Wow.
So you guys can watch it.
Jennifer Love Pfefferman.
You can watch all 7 from The Haunting of the Taylor House, Crazy for You, Borderland, Ambition, Let Them Eat Cake, and I Was a Teenage Taylor, as well as A Night to Dismember. All of them. Those are the titles. And Bewitched. Those are all of the titles of the amazing Halloween episodes that you guys can go and catch. I'm very excited. Dinosaurs did not have a Halloween episode,
They
which
did
was
not,
a bummer.
That's
but
that's
it's a wonderful.
unfortunate.
The ending of the show is pretty horrific.
Oh.
so if you feel in a Halloween
Well,
mood.
that's a Halloween special. There you go.
Yeah.
Not to mama. And I did have a crush on the teenage dinosaur that,
Robbie, I
as SNL
did
showed
too.
us, was probably played by an elderly man, and we were all creepy. But
I thought I was the only one. I had his action figure.
Oh my gosh, I can't with you two.
Robbie is probably my second
Yeah.
favorite animal teenager, second only to Tyler Posey, who plays Teen Wolf,
Oh.
the title character. And Tyler Posey is going to be back on TV now. Teen Wolf just
wow.
wrapped up, but he is going to be on the 3rd season, the rebooted 3rd season of MTV's Scream. So Tyler's coming back to
Good for
MTV.
him.
I'm very excited because I did the Teen Wolf after show, and everybody absolutely loves Tyler Posey. He's one of the nicest people in the entire world. He's super cool. Everyone was very sad when Teen Wolf wrapped up. They did 100 amazing episodes just into the series. But now he is joining Kiki Palmer, RJ Seiler, Tyga.
Oh my gosh.
Tyga's going to be in it. They are all going to be in Scream
Oh
season
my
3.
Gosh.
So
I'm very in, because that's kind of like a reboot that's not connected to the first 2 seasons at all. So I'm excited to see what Kiki Palmer, because I love Kiki Palmer.
I love Kiki Palmer.
She's
She was in
awesome.
Scream
Yeah.
Queens.
Scream Queens.
Yes.
So I'm like, she just like sings with Scream the title, I guess.
She's killing
So
it.
if you want to get Kiki Palmer, you just gotta scream for her. Now, speaking of amazing schedule things, since it is October, we know that there are some incredible Halloween specials that are being released. Very excited because Sci-Fi's 31 Days of Halloween
Oh,
has officially begun.
Dun.
So you can go to Sci-Fi's website, and they'll have their entire list of all of their 31 days of Halloween that they have.
Oh my
Let me pull this up
gosh.
here. Yeah, so they have tons and tons of shows and movies that are all coming to Sci-Fi. There were a few things that were let go, so be sure to check their schedule of all of the TV shows that they are going to be streaming. Speaking of streaming as well, Netflix is going to be releasing all of their amazing movies and TV shows that they're going to have out too. Their list is insane.
Oh my gosh.
They're also developing a brand new series too, an adaptation of The Haunting of Hill House. It's going to have an
Yeah.
entire 10-episode run that they just announced too. So
Netflix should just. Oh my gosh! Like
I'm telling you, Netflix is just on
they're
it.
killing
They're
it with
like,
the horror. I still.
they're
need-
literally killing it.
They're, oh my god! That was a pun. That was an unintentional pun, and you stole it, Punisher.
Pun burgle.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, there are definitely some incredible things. We'll also put in the comments for this on the YouTube video. We'll link you guys that whole list of different things that you can see of all the stuff that is coming to Netflix, because it is an insanely long list. If we tried to name everything, we would be here forever and ever and ever.
And
But-
ever and ever.
and ever and ever and but yeah, very excited about their new adaptation of The Haunting of Hill House. Oh, we got a creepy photo. Anytime that they have kids are just creepy.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, that is a beautiful little girl, but in the context of a creepy situation, it's like Child of the Corn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Immediately.
It's always the blonde kids, the small little cute blonde
telling ya,
kids.
don't-
Yeah. Me and my brother were creepy little blonde kids.
Yeah, terrifying children. I'm very excited. I mean, I love that they have really kept the same house. Like, we get to see the
Yeah.
actual house in the background. So the promo photos that they've been releasing for that one make me really excited that that's going to be a really good adaptation of this whole Amityville horror type situation that they always do different adaptations of.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a new twist on the story that we haven't seen before. So
And I like that, because sometimes sticking too much to the source material can get a little like boring. We're seeing the same thing, so just keeping the viewers on their toes, you know, just to spice it up a little bit, just a little bit.
yeah,
You know,
it's cool. I'll check it.
I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna
No.
watch it.
Now, there's not a lot currently on TV. I know we talked a little bit about Teen Wolf. They just wrapped their final episode as well. But we do want to talk a little bit about what we dug on television this week.
Yeah.
Of course, they had the premiere of Exorcist, which is, as we mentioned before, going to be an entirely different kind of scenario from season one, not tied to the that family. It's going to be an entirely new family for this one. So if you haven't seen that one, check that out. But I know you got to check out Tom Welling's return to TV.
Yes. I love Lucifer anyway, and I didn't think we needed a new foil or anything because the dynamic was so interesting. But because everybody was sort of getting along, they felt like they needed a new boss. So cue Superman. I mean, Tom Welling is so funny. I had no idea because I had not really watched Smallville that much. And so I was just like, oh, I love Lex Luthor from there. But yeah, like, it's so funny to see him and he just beats Lucifer at his own game. He's just so quick-witted, and you're like, really? You know, the Clark Kent who just took off his shirt and never flew? Like that guy? So, yeah, if you haven't caught up on Lucifer, I know that all of
He's
season 1
flying
and
now,
season
baby.
2, are on Hulu. And, yeah, just watch Tom Welling's return to TV. And
I'm really excited. I didn't get a chance to check it
Yeah.
out this week, but I cannot wait to watch
Yeah.
this episode of Lucifer.
yeah, and it's really, it's a very goofy show. It's Castle with Satan. And that's why you
Satan's
gotta love the
Castle.
show.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
That sounds like a beautiful combination to me.
Yeah, I'm into it. Now, what shows are you guys most excited about that are going to be coming up? Because we have so many shows that we've talked about that are going to be coming up. Do you have any ones that you're particularly, really, really gunning for, that you're just yearning for?
Well, I'm still watching American Horror Story. I know you did the after show for American Horror Story,
Yes.
and it just happened. I don't want to ask what happened exactly, but I'm definitely still into that as well. I think the cast is awesome. Evan Peters, Sarah Paulson, Allison Pill. I miss my Angela Bassett.
That's true. And my
Emma
Jessica
Roberts.
Lange.
Oh, God.
And my Lady Gaga. But it's okay.
I'm crying here. Gaga.
I actually just did the wrap up for American Horror Story 2. You guys can check that out. I don't want to do any spoilers here, but I will say I think this was my favorite, most American Horror Story episode this season. Because my only kind of issues I've had with this season is it didn't feel very American Horror Story to me. This episode felt like, okay, this is American Horror Story. So I dug it. I liked this episode.
I can see where you're coming from that. It seemed like just like a different show with
It
like
felt
the
very
cast.
Scream Queens. It felt more tonally Scream Queens. It was a little too tongue-in-cheek for me. But this episode was a lot less of the comedic break and a lot more of the American Horror Story, blood, guts, gore, scary stuff, twists, throwbacks to other. We got some, you know how we would have last season kind of the allegories to the old like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the stuff. This one we got Rear Window. We got some Pinhead references. We've got we got a few different references in this one that I liked a lot. A very spot on Rear Window. So
I need to catch up on this because I'm like, ooh, Hitchcock.
Yeah, they're adding in some more things that so I'm into this season. It's starting to go more the direction that.
It's good.
Yeah.
Hopes are up. Hopes are high. I'm gonna hold you to that. Next week I see you.
I hope you like it. Well, I can't wait for all of the amazing TV that is coming up, and I also can't wait to cover all of this amazing TV. Yes, Ash vs. Evil Dead.
It's the best, and I think we'll still do an individual after show here for it if you guys call for it out there. But we will definitely talk. We will definitely talk Ash vs. Evil Dead on here because I love Bruce Campbell
and Lucy Lawless.
Yeah, and
Lucy Flawless is what I call her.
Exactly.
I do have to say too, I got the chance to go to Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights, and their Ash vs. Evil Dead maze and their American Horror Story maze were my two favorites. So
I can't wait to go. When my brother comes for Halloween, we're planning on hitting that up. So
and
I loved it.
Don't they have like a Jigsaw?
They do. They have a Jigsaw. They have the Horrors of Blumhouse that has Sinister and Happy Death Day and The Purge all in one big long maze. They have a bunch of amazing stuff.
I need to go this year.
Yeah.
I've never actually been, but I need to throw myself into just the horror.
It's super cool. So just a little bit of horror TV news in that they have adapted those TV shows and brought them to life. That you can actually walk through if you are in either. I believe they may have those in Orlando as well. I'm not sure about those two mazes specifically, but I know they definitely have it in Hollywood, so you can check those out. And in the meantime, before we come back next week talking about some more amazing horror TV news and some of our favorite previous horror TV episodes as well. We want to definitely hear from you guys. We want to know what your favorite horror TV episodes have been in the past. So tweet those at us. We may have a little throwdown. We may have to pit some of these against each other and have a little battle of which is the best Halloween episode.
Oh my gosh.
But until next week, where can we find more from you guys?
You guys, I'm Lucretia Lyon, guys, so you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet since there is only one. And be sure to check out Book Circle Online, our sister network. I have a show on there called The Comic Book Exchange. We are live every Wednesday at 10 p.m. on there, and we'll be live at LA Comic Con this year. So hope to see you guys there.
Cool.
I'm so excited for that. Guys, find me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer. I also do 2 other shows on the Popcorn Talk Network on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is my long day. First, I do Marvel Movie News at 2, and I also do a show with Anthony called, oh my gosh, I almost said Marvel again, Horror Movie News on the Popcorn Talk Network at 4.
Sweet, and you guys can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan and on Instagram at That Elena Jordan Girl. You can also find me on Popcorn Talk, talking about American Horror Story, Teen Wolf, all those other TV shows, and on Popcorn Talk Network, talking about DC. Fighting you, sir.
Oh my God.
And you can catch us all back here next week. Tweet at us, let us know your thoughts at AfterBuzz TV. We'll see you guys next week. Bye. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.